Hi, my name is Shivam and welcome to my channel, and today we are going to talk about new features released in Flutter 3.38, and especially we are going to discuss about two awesome features, which is Flutter Widget Preview and Shorthand, and we will see how these features work and how we can implement these in our project. So let's get started. So before starting, we have to update our Flutter SDK and Dart SDK. So for that you can run Flutter upgrade here. So my SDK is already updated. I'm going to run Flutter Doctor here to check our version. As you can see here, the latest Flutter version and your Flutter SDK version should be 3.38 or above, and Dart SDK should be 3.10 and above. Now after this, open your favorite IDE and create a new Flutter project. New Flutter project is necessary because if you go to the pubsec YAML, you can see in the environment there is a constraint. So the constraint should be 3.10 or above. If it's below, your widget preview and .shorthand will not work. And the next thing I am going to do is upgrade our Flutter plugin in the IDE. So I am using Android Studio here. So if I go to the plugin option here, so my Flutter is already updated. I am going to update our Dart SDK also. Sorry, Dart plugin. And if you are a VS Code user, go to the VS Code, go to the extension and update the Flutter plugin there also. So in my VS Code, the widget preview part is not working properly, but in Android Studio, in my PC, it is working properly. So I'm going to show the demo in the Android Studio, but probably in your code or in your system, the Flutter preview might work properly. So first thing, we are going to work on the Flutter widget preview. So this is the main file, and I'm going to show you the basic UI in the Chrome here. So you understand that what kind of preview we will see. So you can see there is a scaffold here, an app bar, a column, and in this column there are two UI which I have wrapped as a function. One is headline widget and one is paragraph widget. So I have opened the UI in the Chrome. Now you can see there is a app bar, headline, paragraph, a message, a simple text, and a login button, and that's it. Okay, there is no functionality, it's just a simple UI to test our widget preview. I'm going to close this. Now if you go to the headline widget, this is a simple UI for the headline. And if I go to the paragraph widget, this is a message with some message and a login button, elevated button. Okay. Now let's go to the menu, go to the view tool window, search for Flutter widget preview, this option. If I open this, currently it's not showing anything. Okay. But behind the scene, it works with the Chrome only because it's working with the web view only. So currently it's not showing because we have not started anything. So to start our preview option, what we have to do, first separate our widget in a separate function. Then I'm going to wrap this with a preview tag. So this class is already available with the Flutter SDK. You don't have to import anything extra, okay? Or any third-party library. And add a name here, a unique name, suppose article item 1. Click Ctrl S, or you can click on the side refresh button. As you can see, the preview is showing on the right side. There is a default option which is collapsible. Then there is an article item 1, which is our name that we have given. We can change it to anything. There is no restriction. Then this is our UI heading. You can add icon, images, checkbox, buttons, anything. Now this is the extra part provided from the widget preview. So this is zoom in, zoom out option, which is not useful for now at least. Then there is expandable button, which is not working. This is for the reset view. Okay. Then there is a toggle button for the theme. Suppose you want to work with the UI, which is in the dark theme and the light theme. So without running this on the emulator, you can toggle this and you can check the UI in the dark theme and the UI theme without running on emulator or any browser. And then there is a refresh button. Okay, so our first preview is ready. Now we have another function. Okay, I am going to add another preview with a name paragraph 1. Okay, so now we have got a second UI, a title, a message, and a login button. This login button is empty right now. There is no functionality in this. Okay. Now our Flutter widget preview is working. Now there are two ways to view this. First is the IDE plugin option. You can choose the window here and open the preview in this option. But sometimes this window will not work. There are some issue with still. So the other option is to launch a CLI. So this CLI will launch in a Chrome browser and you can check the preview in the browser itself. So for that, type command flutter widget preview start. So if I click on it, so in case your IDE is not working, you can still have the preview in the Chrome browser separately. So our Chrome browser is launched and now we can see the same view. Check on the left side and the right side. Both are the similar. Same toggle buttons, refresh buttons, and same messages and dialog boxes. Okay. So I'm going to close this now, but we can use both option. Both are available for us. Now, while we are seeing the preview of the UI, this is not related to just the main screen. If we are going to add multiple screens here in the lib folder and add multiple tags, all the screen will be visible in this preview. So we need a separate way, some kind of grouping. So we can identify that this page UI is in this section and this page UI are collected in a separate section. Now I want multiple UI to be shown. So instead of creating a new UI, I can replicate this preview tag here. Now you can see there are two UIs. So what's the point of using two previews button? Actually, there is another options. Suppose you have localization, brightness, theme, size. You can separate the same UI on the basis of these factors. So you don't have to create another view, add another preview tag and do things again. So if I click on brightness, one can be brightness dot dark and another could be brightness dot light theme. Okay, now you can see the toggle button. The first one was dark. That means if we click on it, it will switch to light mode. That means by default it is in the dark mode. But in the second preview, it's saying switch to dark mode. So why? Because of these options, these toggle buttons are set like this. So we can toggle right now. Now I want to separate these UI from the collections from the above UI. So for this, in the preview tag, I'm going to add a group name. So I'm going to name this group as page 1 and assign the same group to the second preview also, or a second UI in case you have a 2 UI, 4 UI, 5 UIs in this. Now you can see that there is a page 1 group and both the UIs are being collected as a group in the same group, and the other one is the default version which is a separate UI. So I can type a group here also and instead I can say page 2. So with this strategy, you can have a multiple pages, multiple UI, and you can group them together with this group names. Okay. Now we will see how to handle the multiple themes here. And with the multiple themes, we don't have to create another UI for that. Instead, we can use preview tag, assign the theme, and with the toggle button, we can switch our preview. So now I have created an app theme here. First is the light theme and second is the dark theme with some elevated button color and text color. Now this same theme can be applied to the material app here with the dark theme and the light theme options. I'm going to apply this here, dark theme. So I've applied both the themes here. So it will run in the emulator, but I want to use this in the preview window. So for this, I have to create a new function which is to be used by the preview widget. Preview theme data get theme preview theme data. So in this preview theme data, I am going to assign a dark theme here. So our dark theme is custom dark theme and a light theme. So this function or this theme will not affect our app anyway. This is only for the preview version. So I'm going to copy this function and go to the paragraph 1, this preview. I'm going to rename this to the paragraph 2 so we can separate it. Paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. In the paragraph 1, I'm going to add a theme, get theme. Okay. So now you can see as soon as I saved, the preview has been applied. And because in the preview, I have set the brightness as the dark theme by default. So it's copying the dark theme first. So if I go above and check our theme, our dark theme has a green elevated button and our light theme has a purple elevated button. So if I click on this toggle button, you can see the button has been changed and the text color has been changed. So in this way, you can test your previews also. So our next feature is dot shorthands. So what is dot shorthand? It is just way to write a concise Dart code here. So instead of writing full code like instance dot or class name dot, you can simply write dot the variable name or dot the function name. So there is one limitation. Dot shorthand doesn't work everywhere or in every class or in every function. It only works when at the compile time the compiler knows that the return value is same as the function you are using. So in case you can see they are using enum, we can use static functions or we can use our custom clause also. So here there is a column and you can see in main access element there is a specific return type main access element start which is in an enum. So that means compiler knows that the only return acceptable value is main access alignment here. So that's why it's able to accept only these value. If I click dot and you can say only these values are acceptable. In the same way, if I go to the cross access alignment, click dot, only these options are available. In the same way, if we have a padding value, I can remove this and type dot all 16 because in dot all and the padding has the same data type. The all has the edge inset geometry and the padding has the same data type. That's why dot shorthand is working here. In the same way, you can apply with rows also. So these are the primitive data types. That is the classes which is already available with the Flutter SDK. You can work with this. But there is also option for user defined data type. That means if we want to create our own class and we want a dot shorthand operator to supportable in that class, we can use that also. So for this, I am going to create a class. So here I have created a class student with a constructor name and age with a variable, and then we have a factory constructor copy that will going to create a new instance of the student object, and then there is a clone which is also the same task, that is to clone an object, but this is a factory constructor and this is a normal function. So let's see how we can use this. So in the init function I am going to create a new student object, student1. So at this time, the compiler knows it can only accept one student object only. And if I click on copy here, it is acceptable. There is no error. Why? Because if you go to the copy function, the return type, because it's factory, the return type will be always a student type, which is equivalent to the left side of the student. So that's why there is no error. That means compile time, it is safe. Now I'm going to create a new object here. So there is one correction here. Instead of using a member function, I have declared this as a static function. Okay. Previously the member function was working, but currently member function is not working. So I have declared it to static function. So I have created a new object here and I'm going to type dot clone. So this is going to copy the student1 object. And there is no compile time here. That means this is also supportable. So if you want to create another object, a fresh object, so instead of using functions, I can also use new operator here with dot new, which is used to create a constructor here. So all three are returning a student type, and that's why because of the dot operator at the compile time, there is no error. So I've already discussed the two features here, Flutter widget preview and dot shorthand. Flutter has added hot reload in the new Flutter SDK. So if I'm going to launch this application in the browser, and if I'm going to change anything here, suppose in the heading, I'm going to type heading 2, Control S, and that's all. It has been reflected. In the same way, if I go to the scaffold, add background color, red, it got hot reloaded. So in this way, Flutter developers are going to increase their productivity using Flutter widget preview, dot shorthand operator, and the web hot reload. So let me know how you like this video, and if you have any recommendation or topic for Flutter or AI you want me to make a video on it, please comment below and make sure subscribe and like this channel.